Ronald Reagan says of the quickie movies, which were his specialty, they didn't want it good, they wanted it Thursday. American television audiences won't have a chance to pass further judgment on that judgment until after the election. But there's a lively overseas and private market for the films of the man who may be next president of the United States. Charles Osgood reports.
On the last night of the Republican convention in Detroit, they showed a film about Ronald Reagan, which prompted him to say in his acceptance address,
"Well, the first thrill tonight was to find myself for the first time in a long time in a movie on prime time."
in fact, in prime or any other time, chances are you won't be seeing any Ronald Reagan movies on American television for a while. That's because of the equal time requirements of the Federal Communications Commission as they apply to political candidates.
It requires that if a broadcaster gives one qualified candidate for a particular office time on the broadcast medium, that broadcaster is obligated to give it to all that candidate's competitors. Unless the appearance is in a newscast or a similar regularly scheduled news type program, the broadcaster has that obligation.
Of course, it could be argued that seeing an old Ronald Reagan movie might not make a citizen want to run right out and vote for Ronald Reagan. Indeed, some of those now most interested in these flicks appear not to be members of the Ronald Reagan fan club. During the Democratic convention in New York, at least one videotape cassette store was running tapes of Reagan movies in the window, presumably for passing Democrats to sneer at.
Exact change, step to the front of the line.
People who've been renting Ronald Reagan movies from film rental libraries include college groups such as this one at MIT in Boston. They hoot, they jeer, they sail paper planes past the silver screen. And as Ronald Reagan, playing the part of a college professor, tries to bring up the chimpanzee to act like a human being in the movie Bedtime for Bonzo, the young audience behaves as if maybe they've been brought up to act like chimpanzees.
If I could teach this monkey the difference between right and wrong. But I'll do it.
Meanwhile, in the outside world,
Papa. Papa.
outside the United States, that is, where the FCC has no jurisdiction, they're running all the Ronald Reagan movies they want. Here's something off Japanese television, introducing a film called The Killers. The voices are dubbed in Japanese. And without going into the details of the plot, suffice it to say that in this particular movie, Ronald Reagan does not play the part of a good guy, or even a good guy's best friend. Whatever Angie Dickinson is discussing with Reagan in this scene from the movie, our Japanese translators assure us that it has nothing to do with the Equal Rights Amendment. What the rest of the world makes of all this, we're sure we don't know. Ronald Reagan may or may not get to be President of the United States, but for now anyway, at least on television, he is a part of the Japanese diet. Charles Osgood, CBS News, New York.
And that's the way it is. Friday, August 15th, 1980, the 286th day of captivity for the American hostages in Iran. This is Walter Cronkite, CBS News. I'll be away on vacation for a while, and Charles Kuralt will be here. Good night.